alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Hello and welcome to Alive After Reading. I'm Tim Niederreiter, and with me today is a guest who, well, he should have been here sooner, but that's all my fault. Welcome, Joshua Pantalleresco.
Hey, you know what? Hey, don't look at it. Don't look at it as all your fault. It was the right place at the right time. Because last time I was talking about launching a book. Now I have actually launched the book.
Oh yes, Cloud Diver, and actually, full disclosure, that book is now in my Kindle somewhere. But anyway.
We'll pimp that at the end of the.
We will pimp that more at the end of the episode. Yes.
Yes.
So Joshua, you got Cloud Diver Level 1 out, and what's up with you lately? I mean, you've been a guest on the show before, but tell listeners a little bit about yourself and the stuff you do, as well.
So long story short is I write stuff and podcast too, and so. Most people know me, and I'm really good. I'm really good with this. Is as a podcaster. I've been interviewing people now. I am approaching my 400th episode of my podcast, and I'm really happy with it. I've had I've had the pleasure of interviewing people like Kelly Armstrong, Fonda Lee, Charles DeLint, Bob Sawyer, Gerald Brandt, people that are just getting started. Some guy named Timothy, I forget his name, and he knows who he is. And also it's expanded now to I've interviewed musicians, comedians, video game developers. I've had this opportunity just to meet just some amazing people throughout, and that's where people know me. I'm a 3-time Aurora finalist. I got my 3rd nomination for the finalist as a finalist this year. I might win. If I do win it this year, I'm going to have to get myself a plaid tutu and dance in it. It's kind of, I made a deal with the devil, and I have to live with it, and I'm good with that. But I've always appreciated my writing, and I don't mind. Like I said, I don't mind being notorious, known more for my podcast than my writing. That's I as a businessman, as somebody with a healthy ego, I can respect that, but I have writing dreams, and my plan was before this year went crazy was I was going to quit my job in May of 2020, and I was going to pursue a creative thing. I wanted to get into the film industry, I wanted to publish books, and I wanted to keep doing my podcast. Well, the film industry is kind of on hold for now, right?
Yeah.
I was faced with the unenviable decision of staying at a job in the middle of nowhere with nobody or going home to my family. I would rather go home to my family, and I was ready to quit anyway. And I figured, well, I might as well just head into writing and podcasting and see if I can actually carve a living doing it. So I had some plans. I already had, like I said, a plan for this, for the writing end of things. And the Cloud Diver Level 1 was the first part of that plan. I released it May 16th, so literally 2 weeks of this recording. And it debuted in number 4,039 in fiction in Canada. I was very focused on marketing to Canada, and it did very, from what everyone has told me, that is incredible for a debut. And I'm really happy with that. I got my next book. I'll tell you now. It's called Alice Zero. It'll be out July 16th. And my 3rd book is going to be one of 2 things. Either going to be the sequel to The Cloud Diver, but I think it's actually going to be my 2nd series, novel series, which I'm just calling Corey. She is a fallen knight of the round that has become a very, very bad person and wants to become a good person again in a world of parallel universes. So it's kind of like Parker meets Quantum Leap, and that'll be out in October. So that's what I've been up to for the last little bit.
Oh, you've been kicking ass. That's what it sounds like. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of envious because I've been writing the same book for almost a year now. It's brutal to do that, but it happens when you have to throw out 80,000 words, whatever. And the book also that was only half the book in the first place. That's the kind of thing that happens. What was that? Yeah, I know. Actually, I mean, it's a shame there's no live chat because I would ask people to hit F to pay respects at this point. But anyway, yeah, your books you're writing these light little books, right? Like, what kind of And that's awesome. I really like a good, short novel, novella type thing. And they they make an impact in the marketplace too. They don't just disappear. And they're also making an impact on people, because that's the other thing. Once you look, go on.
Well, we were talking a little bit of stuff here. I grew up, I love the old science fiction, like the old Asimovs, the Robert Heinlein, especially the old school Robert Heinleins are amazing. Mm-hmm. Ursula Le Guin, Roger Zelazny, like the Amber series to me.
Oh, Zelazny, yes, huge fan here.
Yeah, right. The Amber series to me, especially the first 5. There's some of the tightest bits of writing I've ever read. They're great. Second 5, not so much. I get the impression Roger was asked to do that for a lot of money, and hey, Roger's a businessman, and I don't fault him for that. But you could tell his heart wasn't quite as in the second 5 as it was in the first, right? And and that's fair. You know what? That's totally fair. I mean, we do things for money. I mean, that's just how life goes. That's my opinion. I could be totally wrong, and if I am wrong, someone can correct me. I'm not saying I'm an expert on this. This is just the impression I got when I read the second 5. But those first 5 are brilliant, and those are the kind of science fiction stories I love. I'm also a big sucker for Michael Moorcock.
Yeah.
He did the same thing with Elric. He did the same thing with Quorum. He did the same thing. Hawkmoon's my favorite of everything he's done. It's just this bonkers world. It's crazy, and I love it. But those are the kind of stories I love. And so, this writing for a living thing, right? A lot of people go, "There's no money in writing." That's not actually true. I thought what I've learned very quickly. This is what I've learned very quickly, is that authors don't advertise enough, and that's their downfall. You work your butt off. Okay, I really love The Cloud Diver. There are scenes in there make me laugh to this day. Like there's this one scene where Gunblade, that's actually her name in the story, Gunblade, actually puts the gun to Johnny's head and goes, "Who are you?" Because that's how they first met. And Johnny's trying to stall for time, and then she goes, You're gonna let me know who you are in 5, or I'm gonna kill you in 5, 4, 3. I'm an employee. He's such a wuss and a coward. But it was so fun to write, and it's great, and I loved every second of this. So when I get to come on a show like this, or I get to do advertising, and I get to talk about my stuff, I got no problem with that, because I realize that if I'm excited about what I'm doing, a reader is going to be excited about what I'm doing. And fun is kind of like a virus. It's contagious. If you can, and if you can come across like you're having fun, that you're enjoying, and you're passionate about what you're doing. And I think it's the passion is the key, because it doesn't really matter what the topic is. It could literally be flying saucers in my backyard. It doesn't matter what the topic is. If you're enthused with it, people will go with you for the ride. It's like, you know what? I don't know. There's flying saucers in his backyard, but he's so into it. I'm in. Let's go. Let's just see what happens, because that's human nature. It's like, you know what? I want. He's having this much fun. I want to have this fun too. Show me a person that doesn't like to play, and I will show you a liar.
Absolutely. That's such a great point. All I can do is say a hearty second, and so, and basically say, I feel it this way, and I felt this way for a long time. So much so that when I was a senior in high school, and I was taking my first creative writing course at the college level, I turned in a little essay that said, the whole point of this is to have fun, isn't it? And I got that back, and the prof was like, this, you got to remember this one. And of course I still do, but that is exactly what I've been trying to do lately. I've been trying to get more in touch with what I enjoy and what makes me, what pulls me into a story and makes me enthusiastic about it. But that's only on the writing side currently. Whereas you make a great point about the not marketing enough, not doing enough.
Well, let's go
advertising and stuff. Yeah.
Let's go one step further. Let's go marketing. Okay. Why does marketing have to be boring? Let me tell you.
It can't be, in fact.
HeidiAngle.com. She wanted a character piece. So you know what I did? Chester is a character in the story. He's a zombie that only says one word: brains. This is it. And he says it in different forms. There's different nuances to the word, but he says it: brains. So guess what I did? I did an interview with the zombie mobster, right? An interviewer and an interpreter. The interpreter made it worse, not better. It was phenomenal. I had a blast writing. But here's the thing. I'm still doing everything you're supposed to do in marketing. Marketing is really answering 3 questions. Who are you? What do you offer? Why should I care? Who is Chester? He is a zombie mob enforcer, probably not a nice guy. Why does he do what is he doing? Well, he's the henchman for Adam, the guy who was interpreting, and Adam's doing it for his daughter. You got a good sense of there was a noble-ish reason for why Adam did some of the terrible things he did, right? Why should I care? Well, it's kind of relatable in one sense because, hey, we all do things sometimes we have to survive, and not all of them are easy and pleasant, and we all have been there on some level. So, and I was able to capture all of that, and all the while making a very terrible joke about how capitalizing using the word brains was Spanish. It was like I got to have my fun. People got into it. I remember Heidi goes to me, I wasn't even going to read your book. I have so many authors come in, but I read your interview. It's like, I'm in. I'm just in. That's it, right? You have to think of marketing in terms like that. Your brand, whatever your brand is, you're more serious space opera science fiction guy, if I recall correctly, right?
Oh, I do epic fantasy too now. Yeah.
Yeah, you say fan. Okay, so but you're the big fantasy. So you know what you should be doing? D&D campaigns.
Yeah.
Seriously. Why wouldn't you? Why not? Get yourself a bunch of friends, right? Right. And don't be pretentious. Don't be like, hey, I'm the fun guy. No, just be yourself. Have friends that can bring out your personality, right? And let people know who you are. You do that, again, it's not. You don't necessarily look. You would love 1 million readers. So would I. Like, let's be honest with you. But honestly, I could get 1,000 readers. If I got 1,000 readers that would buy a book of mine every 4 months.
Yeah, you'd be sitting pretty. You'd be doing okay.
I'm doing okay, right? I have a podcast. I get to make an announcement myself. Hey, listen, I'm on 3 times a week now. I'll invite you right now. You want to read a story of yours on my podcast?
Oh shit, yes.
Oh shit, yes. Then let's do it. Afterwards, when this is over, I'll tell you. I have a story time. I go. I'm reading The Cloud Diver. It's the most terrible audiobook you ever read. I'm having fun. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm not letting it stop me. And on top of that, I get to invite other authors to come in. I've had Gerald Brandt come in. I have J.M. Landell's coming in next week. Dave Butler's going to come into it. Morgan Chammy's coming in. People are, again, come out, read, have a good time. These are really simple ways to market, and they're fun. And when I'm in person, I make grown-ups read Dr. Seuss in different voices. Really.
Yes.
Right? Really.
Oh, that's hilarious, but it makes sense, right? Yeah. You want to stick with people.
It's me, but that's me. I've embraced this idea that this is supposed to be fun. And yeah, I need to make a living doing this. But the thing is, marketing, advertising, if I go to you, please buy my book, you're going to run away screaming. And I can't blame you because everything's trying to get you to buy. Right? It's just the way it is. I don't want to hear a sales pitch. It's the last thing. I like you, Tim. But the last thing I want to hear from you is your pitch about your book. I don't.
Absolutely. Really yeah. Well, I don't even want to give it to you. That's the thing. I don't.
I like you. Now, that all said, I might go to you and go, so Tim, if I was trying to start to read a book of yours, like which book would you recommend I get into? Right? And that's it. It's like, and so because I have a relationship with you, I want to invest in you. Ergo, I will buy your books, your merchandise, your obnoxious mug with your face on it. Whatever the case, whatever your thing is. That's how this works. And authors don't think in those terms enough. The other thing, there's one other thing I figured out too, and although this one's going to be a longer term goal, the other thing too is we resell our stories over and over again. It's a formula, but we don't, like, for example, it would be great if you sold it for a television series. You're selling the same story.
Yeah.
It would be great if you resold it for audio. You're selling the same story. Sold for a video game. Hey, you're selling the same story, right? You have a product.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have a product that you can sell and resell a zillion different ways. And so I'm like, so the challenge then is to put myself in a position to sell these things to the right people. That's my challenge. Okay, we can do that. I got it. And the other thing I have going for me is I have no shame whatsoever. I openly acknowledge like hey, I'm going for it, and I believe that this is awesome, and you're gonna go along with me for the ride. And if you say no, that's okay, but you know what? I'll find someone that's gonna say yes.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, and many of them, in fact, because you've been talking a bit, but that's fine. I just think it's like at some point the reader wants to experience your story without having to buy it, kind of thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they want to get the idea of what your story's going to be like, and you don't get that way by delivering them a sales pitch.
Absolutely not. I can do a sales pitch if you really want me to, and there are places for it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not my. I don't want that to be my first impression of you, because if that's my first impression of you, we're not going to do business.
Right. You've got, and it's got. If you can find a compelling way to present yourself and your material, and yourself, which means be yourself, like you were saying. You know, you do it your way. Don't do it somebody else's way. That's good advice for any author, I'd say. And you can't really argue with results at this point with the way. I mean, 4,000 in the store. That's pretty good. Actually, not totally positive what the Canadian stores like, but yeah, but that's still good numbers. I'm sure they have at least millions of books in the store.
To get that ranking, just to get that ranking is really, really freaking cool.
No,
now, I don't know that that's going to translate into dollars and cents right away, but again, this is a long game too, right? I don't know if it's necessarily going to be 20 books to 50K. I don't think it's going to be necessarily be that long a game, but I do know like as I release more books, I'm going to make more money, and not because I think my books are the greatest things in the world. I just think I can create that kind of following for myself, and again, that takes a certain confidence. But we all, art's about an expression of hope, and the one thing every art, it doesn't matter what art it is, you want to share your work with people. Mm-hmm. So you have to be confident enough to say, hey, my work is worth something, and people will invest in it. That's the heart of writing right there.
Yeah, couple that with the fun, the enjoyment of the process and the product, and there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, and hey, I have to also accept too that, for all my best intentions, it still might blow up in my face. It can happen. It's life, right? But
yeah.
But there's the best. One of the three best advice I've ever heard was fail fast. You know what?
Fail fast, fail often.
Yeah.
Till you succeed.
It's great advice. It really is. Because the quicker you fail, the quicker you learn. Hopefully. Some people.
Yeah, hopefully don't fail catastrophically, but yeah, fail. But when you're doing art, you're not going to die because somebody didn't like your book or because you wrote a. Yeah.
You die a little. You do die a little.
A little, but you recover from that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's like the Julius Caesar. A coward dies many times.
Yes. You get over. I'm
not calling you a coward, but it's an artist dies many times. Every bad review.
Yeah, it's like how does it work? It's like it works like this. The thing is, I think, and I really do think this is that there's a oh wow, cool. I do think that there is definitely a level of we get into this habit. It's like, I wrote this book and it's amazing, and I'm shy to share this with the world. Mm-hmm. That's what you want. You didn't do this because you just wanted it to be a one and done thing. You're doing this because you believe in it. Because otherwise, why go through all the trouble to write it?
Yeah.
So I think the honest answer to a lot of people is they cheat themselves all the time. We sell ourselves short. And heck, even me, I don't think of, I actually at some point to me, wait, you're a 3-time Aurora finalist? Like, yeah, you should mention that a lot more. Probably should, right? But it's also, I had to figure out how to present that in a way that actually it fits what I'm, it fits on what I'm going for, right?
Yeah.
And that's I had to figure that out. I had to figure that out, and I think I figured it out. Could be wrong. We'll find out. Like I said, fail fast, fail often.
Yeah. And even if you fail, you can always try again. That's the thing with most of this stuff. And with any creative stuff, basically, it's like that.
Absolutely.
You can't. I mean, maybe you can't get the paint off the canvas, so maybe you need new canvas. But that's maybe the worst that can happen. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. I mean, in fiction terms, of course.
Well, okay. Like, okay, so my novel's out there.
Yeah.
But I've stuck around and made it better. Yes. In 5 years from now, am I going to cringe at some of it? Probably.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, probably. But that's life. Like at some point, you gotta say, you know what, I'm out here. You gotta go for it. It's gonna work out, or it's not gonna work out. And either way, it's out there, and you did it, and nobody can take it away from you. It's why when I interview people, I'm always like I'm impressed with everybody, whether they're just starting out or whether they've been doing this forever and ever and ever. There's a process to it, and there's a lot of guts that everybody when they do this stuff, and you cannot help but admire it. Even when you fail, you learn, right? So
maybe more than when you succeed, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you figure stuff out when you have to, and that you wouldn't if you were just rolling steady and actually that's the thing. I've thought of some authors that I think maybe suffered more. And I'm not going to name names here, but some authors that had a harder career later on because they got their success almost too quickly. I mean, there's a few good examples of this in the traditional space that I could name, but again, not gonna.
No. You like having money, and that's always a good thing.
Well, they got a good amount of success, but then but I'm thinking of people who had trouble finishing a series, for example. Okay, everyone was expecting book 3. This was supposed to be a trilogy, and it's been 20 years. Or like George R. R. Martin, I can say that one. Everyone's like, "What are you going to do with where's book 6?" And he's like, "I don't really want to write book 6." Basically, that's the kind of thing but I don't think Martin is an example of somebody who got his success too quickly because he wrote a bunch of books before Game of Thrones.
Well, I think I know who you're referring to. I'm not going to name names either, right? What I'm going to say is, one, some books are as you just understood this. Some books are bigger arm wrestling matches. At this point, I have a novel in my head that's been there for about 20 years. It's been there for about 20 years. I think I'm going to have to start writing it soon. It's basically what the 30s now and the Renaissance have in common. And considering what just happened last week, I'm actually of the mindset that we're kind of back to one of those times in history where we can go a whole bunch of different ways. And something like that might be worth reading and exploring now more than ever. It's the most complicated thing I'll ever write. Like I already know this. It's one of the most complicated machines I'll ever build. I'm not sure I'm ready to do it, and it's going to be like close to 120,000 word novel, which I'm not sure I really want to do right now. I like the 50,000, 60,000 space. They're fun, and this one sounds like work, and I'm not sure if I can handle that working stuff. I'm getting kind of old for that shit. But that all said, right? That book might be in my head for another 5 years before I really get serious about it. Then again, maybe I start writing it this year. I don't know. You know what I mean? And I got another it's a young adult book that I think would be great in a traditional market. I think it would be really good in it. It's the closest thing to a perfect formula I'll ever do. I don't think it's in me to be a fully formula writer. That all said, I do get formula and why it's there and why it works, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with it, by the way. Anyone that goes with a formulaic approach to they work. There's a reason why Percival stories are the most popular. The hero's journey, for people who don't know, right? There's a reason for that, right? Mm-hmm. But you have to be you have to be every book's different. Like I think I can burn through the one book I'm working on right now probably within a month. Those books might be a few more years. Everything's like art is really relative. So when I look at like that guy with that third book, part of me thinks maybe they're stuck on their own perfectionism. But then again, if they have such high standards for themselves, it would be very hard for me to release something, especially with that level of success. Success is scarier than failure for a lot of people because you have an expectation you never would have had if you had failed. If you fail and you ride out the bicycle, well, you go back on it. There's no expectations. Either you're going to succeed or you're going to fail, and that's it. But if you have the success, if you've done this thing, and you know you've been to this mountaintop before, well, you've been there. You know you can do it, and everyone else knows you can do it. So if you don't make it there, what the hell happened? Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like the rematch, the fighters, and this time it's an upset. That's for the guy who loses the upset. That's got to feel pretty bad. That's a scary thought.
I mean, it's a risk, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's always a possibility when you get in there and get in the ring with the book.
That's right. And let's be honest, there are some days our books kick our ass.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh boy, there have been too many of those lately. But anyway,
hey, listen, you're still standing. That's all that matters. You might have
I'm sitting down right now.
What?
Well, I'm sitting down right now.
You're in your stool. You're in your stool. The coach is going, okay, champ, you got another round here coming up. You got this. I believe in you.
Yeah,
you're not going to get knocked down this time. Maybe.
And that's for everybody. We can all do that. We can all get back in there.
That's right. That's right.
All the writers out there, it's not hopeless. In fact, I loved what you said earlier. It's an act of hope. Creating a book, it's hope.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So keep writing, folks. That's the moral of the story,
Well, keep writing and also believe in yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds really, 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 really cliche, but honest to God, yeah. You need to believe in yourself. If you don't have that in you, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, let's not get into the whole complex I have around that kind of thing. But anyway, we are running a little low on time. So anyway,
well, that's fine. I hope I was entertaining.
Oh, it's been good. It's been good. Where can people find your work and your stuff and your podcast and stuff? Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with my podcast. My podcast is Just Joshing. I have done 374 episodes as of this recording, and I primarily do interview authors, but I've interviewed pro wrestlers, politicians, illustrators, comic book creators, comedians. I mentioned musicians. I'm missing somebody in there. Somebody else I've interviewed. It'll come to me. Anyway, lots of artistic people, and we talk about life, the universe, and everything. Conversations that range from glitter to PTSD and everything in the middle you can possibly imagine. They're casual conversations. This week, J.M. Frey is my guest. So it's a two-parter. That was a really, really fun, very personal conversation. She's an amazing talent. So if you guys want to check that out, go do that, or any of the other episodes that are on there. You can find Just Joshing on pretty much any podcast platform. Or you can find me on YouTube under my channel, Joshua Pantalleresco. My book, The Cloud Diver, Level 1, is out now. You can find it on Amazon. It'll be Kindle Unlimited by the time probably this airs. Give it a try. I promise you, I'll get you with the zombie mobsters. I swear you'll fall in love with them. But it's a science fiction adventure. It's a cyberpunk steampunk novel. I had a lot of fun putting it together. You'll have a lot of fun reading it, I promise. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at jpantalleresco. My webpage is jpantalleresco.wordpress.com. It'll be relaunching shortly. I think that's everything. Did I miss something? No.
I think you hit it all. I think you got it.
All right.
Thanks for being on the show, Josh. It's been fun.
Yes.
And as for this podcast, you can find more of this show at mentalcellarpublications.com, and you can find my books on amazon.com. Currently, they're all in Kindle Unlimited, pretty much. And yeah, I'd recommend Demon Scroll right now. It's going through the growing pains a little bit on Amazon, but we've got a spiffy new ebook of that out as of today, actually. So check that out if you haven't already, and look for Shadow Prince later this month. Thanks for listening, folks. and peace out.
That tears it.